G'day team, Coach Ray here. I'm a triathlon and marathon running coach who specialises in coaching beginner and recreational athletes to achieve their sporting as well as their health and fitness goals. Now what I'm going to talk to you about in today's video, Science on Sunday. I've got here an article about the effect of plyometric training on distance running performance. Now this was done by a group from, I can't remember where they're from, the Human Movement Department, School of Leisure, Sport and Tourism, University of Technology in New South Wales, Australia. Now, it's well known that VO2 max is a critical component in determining the ability of a runner, but running economy, or what's known as RE, is equally as important, and this has been shown many times before. The more economical you are, the less energy you expend to run at any given pace, and it's been hypothesized that plyometric training can improve your running economy. Now, VO2 max is often used to predict endurance performance. However, other factors such as maximal aerobic velocity and running economy have been reported as better predictors of distance running performance in trained runners. Running economy is simply defined as a steady state oxygen requirement for a given sub-maximal running velocity. So what that means is when you're running at a steady state, and it's not anywhere near your maximum. So your long, steady runs, that sort of training. What is the energy cost? How much oxygen do you need to run at that pace? Numerous factors have been associated with running economy, including heart rate, your ventilation, how much you're breathing, your VO2 max, what's the maximum volume of oxygen you can utilize, your gender, age, temperature, fatigue level, training status, body and segmental mass distribution. So what that means is your body mass is how heavy you are, but your segmental mass distribution is do you have a large abdominal region and carrying excess body weight around there, or is it evenly distributed, or do you carry extra mass? Are you leg dominant? But very skinny upper body, or the opposite way around. Stride length and other biomechanical variables will also contribute into your running economy. Now, historically, the preferred training method for improving running economy was to perform long, slow, or steady distance running, what's known as LSD. The more training an athlete does, up to about 120 kilometers per week, the more efficient the athlete will be. However, Tim Noakes noticed that running economy was certainly improved with high weekly mileage. The associated risks of running high mileage were also high. Other methods for improving running economy can also be improved with high intensity interval training, such as running 400 meter reps through 1 mile reps. Now, Johnson et al. In 1997 looked at the effects of a 10-week strength training program on female distance runners. As a result of their study, they reported that when strength training and endurance training were done in conjunction with each other, running economy was improved by 4%. Another researcher, Pavolainen et al. In 1999 looked at plyometric training on 5K running performance, running economy, as well as muscle power, and they concluded that when explosive strength and endurance training were done in conjunction with each other, a significant improvement in 5K performance occurred. They further suggested that this was due to improved neuromuscular characteristics that were transferred into enhanced muscle power and then running economy. Tim Noakes in 1991 noticed that runners with poor economy probably have muscles that are less able to utilize the impact energy produced as they eccentrically absorb the force of landing. Therefore, these runners would greatly benefit from a plyometric type program. Now, what Spurs and his team did with this article here was to take 17 male distance runners with an average age of 25 years plus or minus 4, a weight of 72.4 kilograms plus or minus 5 kgs, an average height of 178 centimeters plus or minus 4 centimeters, and an average training history of 10 years plus or minus 6. They were randomly placed into either a control or experimental group, and there were 9 and 8 runners respectively in each group. Now, all participants typically ran 60 to 80 kilometres weekly, and they maintained their normal run training program for the duration of the study. Now, none of them had done any plyometric training for the previous 3 months, nor had any of them undertaken a structured plyometric training previously. Now, if I just skip through here, where's the... so I don't have the average 5K times for the overall group, but the average 3 kilometre time for the experimental group was 10 minutes 28, and for the control group it was 9 minutes 36. Now that was not significantly different between groups. So those in the experimental group completed 6 weeks of plyometric training. The first 3 weeks involved 2 sessions per week, and the final 3 weeks there were 3 sessions per week. Exercises consisted of a range of jumps, bounds and hops in both the horizontal and vertical planes. A thorough warm-up was conducted prior to each session, and from session to session progressive overload occurred, and a number of foot contacts per session increased from 60 to 180 over the duration of those 6 weeks. Now, a range of performance measurements were collected from both the control and the experimental groups at the start and at the end of the program, and then they were compared against each other. Unsurprisingly, the results of a counter movement jump and a 5-bound test improved in the experimental group as a result of the plyometric training program, but there was no change for the control group. That makes sense, doesn't it? You spend 6 weeks doing jump training and you get good at jumping. You don't spend any time jumping over 6 weeks and you don't get any better. It's not rocket science, but it goes to prove that the training program that they put together did actually improve their jumping ability. And then the flow-on effects that occurred as a result are likely attributed to that. So the experimental group improved the the counter movement jump test by 13.2% and the 5-bound test by 7.8%, and both of which are statistically significant. Now, where things got really interesting was that there was no significant changes for either group in either their VO2 max or their lactate threshold, but the running economy in the experimental group improved by 6.7% at 16 kilometers an hour, 6.4% at 14 kilometers an hour, and 4.1% at 12 kilometers an hour. All of these were statistically significant, but the control group didn't see any change in running economy at any speed. The combination of all of this effectively shows that the plyometric training has a correlating effect on the running economy improvements. Now, the counter movement jump and the 5-bound test both look at 2 different aspects: the speed of contraction and the ground contact time, and both of them are important for running economy. Now, I'm going to be doing a 6-week plyometric training program after the Taupo 70.3 as I prepare for the Wellington Marathon. I'm hoping to go under 3 hours for that event. So if you're interested in joining me for a running specific plyometric program for 6 weeks, click the link below, read the article, and down the bottom of the article there's a form you can fill in, and I'll happily have you join me on that. So I'll be looking to start sort of middle of March once I've recovered a little bit from the 70.3. I'd love to have you join me if you're interested in improving your running economy as well. Right, now I've just recently got back from a run, so it's time I go have a shower. I'll catch you later.